Okay, welcome to this video. Here we are gonna make a shooting game, and so we've got a lot of stuff going on, and we know lots of stuff, but we've never actually done bullets or trajectory. So let me show you um, just a little bit about trajectory and how you could do one way you could do bullets. Now, what we're gonna do in this game is we're gonna make a really slow shooting bullet, and you're gonna recycle this bullet and only have one bullet on the screen at a time. So we're gonna start with a simple bullet business. Now, here's your spaceship, and we're not really talking about the spaceship. All he's already got his movement set up, and so that's what his movement looks like. Responds to keys, blah blah blah. Now we have some other sprites here. Now, don't forget that you want to name your sprite something that makes your life easier. So you can click this little eye here, and like I think it was called Sprite 2, I called it Missile, and etc. etc. So make sure that you name this one that makes sense. But anyway, here's the Missile. He's the star of the show, and right now he doesn't do a whole lot of anything. He just has, when it's clicked, he's going to go put himself in the corner. And so at this exact moment, when I run it, he just sits there, and I can drive the ship around, and everybody's happy. Now, what we want to do is have, when they press space, we want the bullet to do his business, right? Now, so in the event tabs, there's a thing here that says when they press a certain key. So if you go to events, and I'm going to say when they press the space key. Now, what I want to do, this is kind of weird, I want him to go to the ship, like hop to where the ship is, so you can shoot him from the ship. So I'm going to go to this motion tab, and then in motion, there's a block called go to, and then I could tell him to go to the mouse pointer, but I don't. I want to tell him to go to the spaceship. And this is why you want to name these things, these sprites, things like spaceship, and not sprite 1, sprite 2, sprite 3. So you can read your own code. You're like, oh, okay, I want him to go to the spaceship. Now, just to prove that this works, when he runs, spaceship's moving, I hit space, he goes straight to the spaceship. Now, here's what's weird. The spaceship is pointing down, but the arrow is still pointing to the right, right? And so that's not really what we want. We want that missile to point in the same direction as the spaceship, so it can shoot from the same direction. Because here, just for fun, if I said just go to the spaceship and then start moving, right? He's always pointing to the right, no matter what. So even if he goes to the spaceship, then when he takes off, he's going in the wrong direction. So something that we really want to do is get rid of that crap. Garbage. We want to make sure he's pointing in the right direction. Now this is a little weird because it doesn't look like it should work, but there's in your motion, there's a block that says point in direction, but then I'd need to ask for the direction of the spaceship, because I can't necessarily say point 90, point to the right, point to the left. You need to point whatever direction the spaceship is going. And so if you look around, there is somewhere, this is the hardest part, maybe it's in sensing. Of course it's in sensing. If you go to the sensing tab, there is this really cool block, something of something. I'm going to drag him here, and what I want to know is, I would like to know what is the direction that the spaceship is facing right now. And once I have that, I can go drag that there. So what that says is, let me zoom in because that's tiny. Go to the spaceship, and again, I'm in the brain of the missile. Go to the spaceship, point in the direction of the spaceship. right? So it's not necessarily 90, it's not necessarily 180, it's just point whatever direction the spaceship is pointing. So here we go. Now I get the spaceship here, I press space, awesome. I'm going to move the spaceship around. When I hit space again, it hops to the spaceship, points in the direction of that spaceship. Now look how awesome that is. So no matter where that spaceship goes, what direction he's pointing, I don't know, my keyboard sometimes gets confused. When I press space, it will hop straight to it and point in the same direction. Now, why do you want it to point in that same direction? Because then, that way you can tell it to start moving. So, I could say forever move. So I could say when they press space, hop to the spaceship, point in the right direction, and then move forever. Now, forever is not really our best friend here because then the bullet, we never get him back. He just like freaks out, and now when I press space again, he can't listen because he's still trying to move forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever. And he's like stuck in this infinite loop and can never hear me hit space again. So that's not our best friend. What we would like is, I want him, and we haven't really used this loop yet, I want him to move, not forever, not a certain number of times. I want him to keep moving until he touches the wall. So, what I want is this move block. I don't want it to happen forever. I want it to keep repeating until it touches a wall, which I think should be in sensing. And then I'm going to grab this touching, and then the edge is what it calls the wall. So you could say, I shoot it, and it keeps moving, and then when it has touched that wall, it's done, and it's just sitting there and not doing anything. So it can hear me hit space again. So it's going to keep moving until it hits the wall. Oops, I didn't tell you that balloon has code in it. Now, you probably, by the way, want your bullet to move a little faster than your ship, otherwise it would be kind of silly. But anyway, so this repeat until just says keep moving, take 20 steps until you hit the edge, then you can stop. Now, we're going to throw a few looks in here. I don't like how the bullet's just sitting there at the beginning, so when the game starts, I'm going to hide it. When you press space, I'm going to show it when it hits the wall. Once it has done moving, I'm going to hide it again. So now it just looks like, now the only thing is you only get that one bullet. And you can't fire again until it hits the wall. Like if I hit space 1,000 times, I'm recycling that bullet, and that bullet can't do anything again until it hits the wall, and then, because it's stuck in this loop, once it's done moving, then it can listen for me to press space again. Now, and then the only other thing is, in the balloon has some code that basically says, if I'm ever touching a missile, hide. So that balloon is saying, am I touching a missile, am I touching a missile, am I touching a missile? Boom. Now what you've got is a basic shooter game. So it's all based on when they press space, keep walking until you hit the edge, then hide yourself again. And now you can make a shooter game.